Right? It is, of course, our pleasure, Mr. Starr.
Well, you know, it's my pleasure too to be here, and we're here for a good cause, and I want to thank everyone for getting up this morning and coming out.
Just quickly tell us what inspired you to put this together. This is so unbelievable. I can't wait to talk about it. What inspired you?
What inspired me was I started to get all of my gear out of storage, stuff I thought I'd lost, and I opened a trunk and it was full of photographs and negatives of mine. And we thought we could put a book together with this, and as you know, it all goes to charity, so.
But let me just ask you about a couple things that stunned me. Right at the beginning, beautiful image of you and your mom. You said that when you were little, you would all get together and sing Nobody's Child. You'd sing Nobody's Child, and she would sing The Little Drummer Boy.
I know, far out.
Is that true? She would
Yeah,
sing
it's
The
true.
Little
That's
Drummer
what
Boy.
she would sing, yeah.
And-
Who knew then?
But that's amazing. She sang The Little Drummer Boy.
Well,
How
she
amazing.
was singing Drummer Boy then, you know, and I was a kid
So,
before I had a drum.
so something else that struck me, on this page of you, it says, I could only look at the drums because we couldn't afford them. So you fell in love with drums and you couldn't afford to have them.
Well, this is a very sad story. I was in a hospital with tuberculosis, and I was in bed for 10 months. To keep us busy, I also learned to knit, but they had this music lady who came round with tambourines, little drums, maracas, all percussive. And anyway, she gave me a drum the first day, and then after that, I wouldn't be in the band unless they gave me a drum. And that's when I fell in love with drums. I knew then I just wanted to be a drummer. I didn't want to be a piano player, guitarist. I wanted to play drums, but we couldn't afford them, so I'd go around the music shops in Liverpool and just look at them in the window.
In these early years, you make the point here, and with some additional poignant pictures, you didn't have a lot of money. Like you had to take a bus, drag your stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think that there is something about not having, about having to struggle to make something happen and to love it so much, that has an impact on the art?
I think what happened for me and for all the Liverpool bands I was in, we just wanted to play. And we'd go to any lengths to play. You know, I was working in a factory in the day, getting a bus at night, and you know, with cases of drums. But half the time I would just get on the bus with a snare drum and then beg another drummer to lend me his kit. Anyway, in the end I got a car and I took my drums, and drummers would beg me could they borrow mine. That's just how it was. It was like, you know, you don't look at it like rich or poor. You look at it that I've got to get on the bus if I want to play.
And you got to go. So here's, I mean, the book is filled with incredible images. I mean,
Yeah.
you feel it throughout.
I was just, you know, I was there with my camera, taking shots, not even thinking, oh, in 50 years it'll be a book. I was just like, I loved taking photos. And, you know, they were my models most of the time because we spent a lot of time together.
The songwriting,
Yeah.
talk to us a little bit about how that songwriting happened. Like, Paul would go write a song and come and you just try it. Did some stuff he write just end up on the floor? Was everything amazing? Like, it felt like anything you wrote. That's how it felt to us. But
Well, at the beginning,
talk
you know,
about the songwriting.
John and Paul wrote all the songs, and you know, they would come in and they, you know, they'd have it pretty formatted. And George and I, you know, we're all buskers. None of us could read music, so we just like do what was natural. Later on, you know, some of the songs weren't finished, and you know, we'd all shout out lines
Right.
that could be used or couldn't. You know, no one took offense, and then we would work them out a bit more. After we stopped touring, we would work them out a lot longer. You know, oh, let's change that bridge, or let's do, you know, that as the chorus. And so, you know, it was like everything else we did. We were a cover band. We had two great writers. We did that, you know, whatever they wrote, and then, you know, we got George started writing, and then I just started just too late writing, but I got a couple of songs on.
And you got them in. Yeah, for sure. The star burned so brightly, so insanely brightly. Was it inevitable that there was going to be what would be considered a short time for the Beatles, as the Beatles, to all be together?
I think, 8 years was it for us because we'd been so
Intense.
intense and cocooned. And then, I had children. Paul had children. John met Yoko. You know what I mean? Life
Happened.
And so we didn't put that time in then. We had other things to think about. I mean, once in the studio, that's where we were, and we worked very hard. And the thing I love to this day is that each generation still loved the music. It still holds up. It's not like, from those days. It's like it could be from now.
The night that for sure everybody over a certain age remembers was that first night on Ed Sullivan. Talk to us a little bit about that night. What it felt like. What was Ed actually
like? It wasn't just that night. I mean, we landed at Heathrow from Sweden, and all the kids were on the roof of the airport, and Ed Sullivan landed, and he didn't know us, and we've never heard of him. But that was like the Beatle way, the Beatle life, and this guy booked us in New York, and George had gone in the summer. We went there February, but he'd gone in the summer before, and he was asking, have you got the Beatle record? I said, never heard of them. So we came back to England and said, oh, they don't know us over there, because we're really well known in Europe. But when we got there, we had a number one. Every DJ was on our side. But just to go to America, just going to America, for me, was one of the biggest thrills in life, because all the music I love came from there. And I know the other three, all the music they like came from there. But it was like, wow, we're in America. It was so huge. So the whole episode was huge. And then we did the TV show. And, we didn't really know while we were doing it that 70 million people would watch it.
And did he get it? Like, did he actually personally, like, not just someone booked you, but he got it?
Ed?
Yeah.
I don't know. He booked us. He got something.
Yeah, he got more viewers. You mentioned in...
Does he? I don't think he knew that then either.
You mentioned that night the crime rate actually went down.
So they told us, yeah, it went down. So if we did nothing, we did good.
Well, listen, we're thrilled that you came by here today.
Yeah, me too.
I think the amazing thing, and I want to get you to say a little bit more about it, is that this is music that lives as powerfully today as the day you wrote it.
Yeah.
It is classical in the sense that it more than stands the test of time, and that music is as compelling and joyful and emotional. And what is it? What is it? What is it in that music? What is it? What's the magic?
Well, I'm on it.
That'll do it.
And, my three brothers, I'm an only child. I suddenly had three brothers. And we had a lot of soul, and we put it down. We had the finest writers, incredible singers. John, with that voice of his, and Paul with the many voices. George took his time. I played the best I could. I think we just worked hard. I'd like to say, oh, it's this, that, and the other, but we really worked hard in a musical way that we would be excited, and it's still out there today. That 10,000 hour thing,
right.
Well, we put 10,000 in just in Germany. I mean, we would work day and night anywhere you sent us, anywhere we got a gig.
Right.
It wasn't, oh, we cannot play in there. We would play anywhere, in your toilet. It didn't matter, we would play.
You have brought so much joy to so many millions of people. What does that feel like?
I don't think, you wake up in the morning, look at them and say, wow, I've done it for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? It's just part of my life now. Mm-hmm. And it is a good feeling. Mm-hmm. And, for the last 40 years, it's been peace and love. I'm trying to still peace and love around the world like an old hippie. And I have this dream one day, 1 hour, 1 minute, the whole world will go, peace and love. It's not a bad dream.
Ringo?
Anyway, we have a very nice book here.
The book does contribute to charity, so great to do it. And
thanks for being
you.
so good.
Thank you. It was
Yeah.
a joy.